Hello everybody, I would expect this video to be relatively quick and painless because perimeter and area is something that we covered quite a bit in various projects that we've done over the year. So, starting off with the perimeter of a figure. The idea of perimeter is the total amount of distance covered on the outside of a figure. So, for example, on a rectangle, if this top is 6, that means the bottom of the rectangle has to also be 6. If this is 4, this side also has to be 4. And all I do from there is I add. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 4 is 16, plus 4 more is 20. And the label on perimeter will be meters single, because all perimeter is a singular line drawn around the outside. So, for example, on this one, if we're given the perimeter to be equal to 20, that means that this is 2 and this is 2. So I have to figure out what x equals to make the total perimeter be 20. So if I picked like 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 2 is 16, plus 2 is 18. Therefore, that does not work. So x in this case would have to be equal to 8. And over here would have to be 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. Plus 2 is 20, which is what we were looking for as the answer. Now, for triangles, perimeter is going to be the same. It's still just the outside of the figure. Therefore, 8 plus 7 is 15. So y in this case has to be equal to 4 to make the total perimeter be 19. Try these on your own and see what you get. So this one on the left here, 9 plus 7 is 16, plus 11 is 27, plus 6 would be 33 for the perimeter. Finally, on this one, y would have to be 23 feet to make this the perimeter on this figure, or make 41 the perimeter on this figure. If you have any questions, like always, make sure you're asking me. Area, by definition, is going to be a little bit different. The idea of area is that you're breaking up your figure. If this is 4 meters, I'm breaking up this figure so that we have 4 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if this side is 5, we're going to break this up into 5 equal pieces as well. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top here, you would count up the total squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth, to get 20 as your answer. But 4 times 5 would also give us the answer of 20, but here's the trick. It's got to be meters squared in order to work on this problem. Okay? Triangle, by definition, then, if I took this triangle and I cloned it and I rotated it, I could actually make a rectangle and fit the figure. The problem that we have, though, is our triangle is only half of this rectangle. So it's the same formula as a rectangle, except you divide by 2. So 8 times 7 is 56, but we divide by 2, so we get 28 feet squared for this figure. Trapezoids, by definition, are going to be a little bit different. The idea of a trapezoid is that if you break it up into 3 pieces, so this being a line here, and this being a line here, you could actually solve this problem by realizing if this is 6 and it's a total of 8 on the bottom, this would be 1 and 1, and then finding a triangle of, so this triangle here would have an area of 2, this triangle here would have an area of 2, and the rectangle would have 24. So then you could add all 3 of those up. But the easiest way to solve these would be averaging the bases. So if this is the top base and this is the bottom base, you could find the average of them, which would be 7 meters. We then take the average of the bases times the height, which is 4, and we get 28 meters squared. I think that's the easiest way. Now, if you want to break it up into 3 pieces and solve it that way, totally acceptable, because the average can get a little tricky for problems like this. Because the average of 5 and 8 is going to be 5 plus 8 divided by 2, which is 13 over 2, or 6.5. And now 6.5 times 6 would be 39 inches squared. So if you got decimals in there, it's a little bit tougher. You could also break that up in pieces if you'd like. All right, now for the activity, you have to find the area of your desk and the perimeter of the side of my podium, which is in the shape of a trapezoid. If you have questions on that, please ask me.